Hey guys, JK here to talk about the new upcoming Final Fantasy Brave Exvius banner. This is a little bit of a surprise to me because I think they rejiggered some of the units and everything, but definitely going to be exciting for my alternate account. Maybe not so much for my main, but we'll get into that now. So the grand prize is Wilhelm, and this is actually a tank support type of unit, or I guess kind of a hybrid, but I would consider him more of a tank with some support abilities. Uh, yeah, I mean, we'll go into the finer details with him particularly. I don't think that the wiki pages are made for the other units, but we will discuss him deeper. So, his Trustmaster reward is a awesome shield. I mean, this is by far the best shield that we've seen in Global. 65 defense and spirit, that's, way higher than Leo's TM or, Force Shield. I mean, granted, it doesn't have elemental resistance, which is a little bit of a downer, but for the most part, this is your best all-purpose shield that you can have, and this is a heavy shield. His featured ability is impregnable. He can actually get 100% targeted for 3 turns, so this is going to be like a better tank than Cecil. Although as a unit, I mean, he's not going to have some of the things that Cecil has, and Cecil doesn't have some of the things that Wilhelm has, so it depends on what you need. But yeah, this is 100% being targeted for 3 turns. Pretty awesome because you're gonna really be able to tank everything without fail. Also global exclusive, they've made him better by giving him these 2 abilities. This one boosts resistance against all status ailments, definitely useful in some cases, and it boosts limit break or limit burst gauge filling each turn. So this is a really cool ability. General Battle Cry, I think this is really awesome. It boosts attack and magic for all allies, which is a really good compliment to people like Y'shtola, who can dual cast Protect Shelga, but then you would still need the attack and magic boost. So if Y'shtola is your healer, this is like actually a really good complementary tank for you. Whereas Cecil would have focus and he wouldn't be able to boost your attack and things like that. So this is a really good ability that they've added, but it also boosts the limit burst gauge fill rate again for all allies. So really cool ability that they've added. I think this is actually the main reason I would consider wanting to pull for him, although I probably won't just due to resources. The second unit is a base 4-star that goes to 6 stars. Magitech Soldier, which is interesting because this is not a Final Fantasy VI character by any means, but the Trustmaster reward is pretty awesome. I mean, look at all this stuff that a mage or a healer could use. MP 20%, Mag 25%, Spirit 25%. Amazing TMR. I mean, previously we're dealing with like Mag plus 30 for Shantoto's TMR, or even 25 with a slight MP. I think it's like 5% MP with the Popoi TMR. But this one just blows them out of the water. So if I were to pull, it would probably be for something like this. Amazing TMR for mages and healers. Featured abilities, boost HP by 30% and all elemental resistances by 15. I'm assuming this is just a passive for herself. Final sequence, KOs caster and damages all enemies. I mean, this better be really, really rocking like a lot of damage in order to justify killing herself. Probably is a decent multiplier, obviously, but probably situational here. Unlimited, randomly boosts all parameters of caster or inflict berserk status on caster. Interesting. It's kind of a gamble, like you can either boost yourself or just go berserk. Berserk isn't the worst thing in the world. You probably just, do a lot of slightly stronger normal attacks or whatever, but I don't know. None of these are really sticking out to me as like amazing. And I don't know the full details of this character, so we'll have to wait and see. Okay, this is another character that I'm really interested in. Abel. I've mentioned this in my Setzer series videos. This is the TMR that I really want. It's the Bowie Knife. Attack is 82, which is really good for a dagger. It's up there with Ling's dagger, but this actually enables dual wield. So this is like a really, really beefy, better version of second knife. So if you equip this, you're getting the attack here, plus you can equip another weapon. Anyone who still doesn't have enough dual wield TMRs, this is a really good option for you if your character does well with knives. This would be really good for somebody like Ling, as I mentioned, because you put on the Bowie knife, you equip this knife, get 80 to attack, plus you can equip that other knife that we have going on with the FF0 Type 0 event that gives you all that mag. So she can end up being, with a Ring of Lucii, she could end up being an arena monster. She could do the Alterna casting if you need her to. She can also, counter. If you put a counter thing on her, you can have her wear Bushido Freedom and do a lot of damage that way. I've seen people with Ling builds in Arena where they actually do Bushido Freedom and do a lot of damage AoE, so this is a really cool item. I would really want this one, but yeah, I don't know if I'm going to pull, but I'm definitely going to pull on the other account. As for the abilities, I'm not too interested because this is a 5-star unit. Man-Eater Barrage, Disturbing Knife, nothing here that's like really progressive or in the game, nothing. This is all old stuff basically that we've seen before. Another interesting TMR is a two-handed gun for 120 attack. So, this is an alternative to something like Sparky, but generally you'd want to put on a regular gun and put a dual wield some other thing. But if you don't have dual wield, this is a really good option. This would go well with double hand, actually. But if you did have someone like Olive, you'd obviously get Sparky instead. But for other purposes, this is a pretty decent TMR. Again, I'm not really interested in these too much because this is a 5-star unit. But for me, this banner is just like the TMR banner, like crazy TMRs all around. The best shield, the best mage Trustmaster reward, arguably. Well, outside of Dark Bond or Letters and Arms, which will give you 50% mag, but you'd want to supplement this with that. This is an accessory, by the way, not a materia. So actually, you know what? Accessory-wise, this is the best. I can say that without question. So amazing accessory for mages. All the other stuff that gives more mag is a materia, so it's not competing for that spot. And then we have the Bowie Knife and a machine gun plus two-handed weapon. So, I'm so tempted to pull on this banner, but I just feel like I've been pulling too much, wasting too much on things that aren't necessary. So we'll see. But if you are in need of some of these TMRs, definitely go for it. It's like no matter which one you get, you can be happy in some way. None of the units are really going to be amazing in your party, I would say, but Wilhelm does have the possibility of becoming your main tank, and we'll get into it. Alright, so let's talk about Wilhelm, and is he the best tank for you? And that's assuming you can even pull him. The fact that he's a base 5-star is already a really big detriment to his worth, or to the worth of this banner overall. But if you are able to pull him, he could be very good for you. So tank-wise, obviously he has good HP, defense, spirit's okay. His weapons are kind of limited, but he's not really meant to do a ton of damage anyway. What's important, obviously, is that he can wear the heavy shield, heavy armor, the helm, for the Grand Helm and heavy armor combo, so that's pretty important, I would say. So his abilities, he does have some debuffs and support abilities. As I mentioned, he's a tank and a support. So this one, physical damage, not really that important, but it does decrease damage taken by 50% to the caster. So if you are guarding with Wilhelm, you can use this ability every turn and just decrease your damage that much more. So he's staying alive better. Physical damage, chance to inflict confuse. I guess if the boss or enemy is susceptible to confuse, that wouldn't be the worst thing to use, but I don't like the 30%. Increased defense spirit 50% for 3 turns to caster. Again, another way to kind of buff up your sustainability, but I don't know if this is really the best way or if Guard Smite is the best, because yeah, if you increase your defense by 50%, let's say it goes from 100 to 150, actually, I don't know. I don't know which one would be stronger. I guess you could use this first and then just use Guard Smite the next couple of turns. Imperial Lance, really weak physical damage attack. You would never want to waste a turn doing that. And this is what makes him, potentially the best tank for now, is that he can increase chance of being targeted by 100% for 3 turns and decreases damage by 30%, which is not as good as Cecil's, but the 100% is definitely better than like a 75%. Now, the only thing with this is that we know that Warrior of Light is coming to us eventually. In the Japan timeline, he would have been in our game already, but it seems like they're delaying him, probably to make Wilhelm a little bit more appealing to people. But once Warrior of Light comes out, this is going to be less of a attractive feature because Warrior of Light has a similar 100% chance as well. So, and the draw attacks, innate increased chance of being targeted, so maybe it doesn't need to always be tied to Golem, the Esper. He does counter a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be dishing out a ton of damage. It's just kind of like, I guess, like Snow, where you would want him to counter, get a little bit more crystals and Esper orbs dropping out of the enemy. So it has some utility in that way, but you're not going to be like dealing crazy damage or killing an enemy like that. He does get a lot stronger defensively when his HP drops below 30%, which may happen because, as a tank, he's soaking up all that damage. Going below 30% is not unheard of. And then he has a lot of good passives here. Again, more passives here. Oh my gosh, he has like gobs of defense, especially when he's wearing a heavy shield and heavy armor. So as far as tankiness goes, this guy is unmatched in global now. Or he's going to be once he comes out, and then he also heals a little bit when he's guarding. So yeah, and then he has counter, like I mentioned before. Great wall, really cool limit burst. It decreases your damage taken by 54% at max level. It starts out at 30% actually, but yeah, it's like a one-turn thing. If you know a big attack is coming, for instance Mega Flare, then you could activate this, really help your party to survive. And it helps him buff him up even more. So his defense can just go crazy, off the charts, basically. So as far as the tank goes, he's going to be like unmatched until Warrior of Light comes in. Then there's going to be some competition. But yeah, you just have to decide for yourself whether or not you want to have like pull for a tank, determine how valuable a tank is for you. I will say again that the global exclusive skills actually help him a lot too. I mean, Loyal Guardian, the status ailment resistance helps a lot because we're seeing a lot of that in bosses, confusing you and all this other stuff. And then General Battle Cry, this is really awesome. I'm assuming this is at least 40% attack and mag, maybe even as high as 45, who knows. And the limit burst gauge rate, fill rate for all allies, very good supportability that again goes well with the Ishtola and some other, nice combinations there. So good unit. It's a shame he's a base 5-star, so he's going to be really costly to pull for a lot of people. But all in all, this is just a TMR rich banner. If you are really good at farming TMRs and really trying to get that best in slot stuff, I would say pull for it. But otherwise, none of these are going to be must-have units for most people. But I am going to pull on my alternate account with Setzer for that Bowie Knife, basically. So hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time.